I began my career as a university professor, and I thought I would be a professor for the next 30 years. I was going to retire as a professor, but had the opportunity to do some other things. So I started as a professor. I go over to this foundation, and while I'm working in the foundation, I get a call from the White House. And I had to look at my phone twice, but it was another opportunity to be a practitioner and an educator in a very different space. And so I go to the U.S. Department of Education, managing a $7 billion portfolio of federal dollars that are being delivered to institutions of post-secondary education. I leave the U.S. Department of Education onto the largest four-year system in the country, the California State University system, and then on to SIUE. So very different roles, but all of them focused on how to get a greater percentage of young people into college, through college with a high quality, affordable degree. I find that the most important characteristic of any educator is the belief that the students that are standing opposite of them have potential. That the people that we are educating, that we're teaching, that we're helping through our educational system, that there's a fundamental belief that no matter who you are, where you come from, what kind of household you arrive from, that you have the ability to succeed. I think it's important, as a Black man, I think it's important for us to be represented in every sector of education and leadership positions. We're sorely needed in the classrooms across America. So I think that's important, but I also think it's important for every student on their educational journey to find people who reflect them, right? Who look like them, who understand them, who has the ability to connect with another student. So I think it's important for Black men to be represented at every stage of the educational pipeline. Kindergarten classrooms, third grade classrooms, coaches on the athletic field, principals in high schools, professors in college classrooms, and chancellors even of a university. So absolutely. As I mentioned, I began as a professor, and so much of your work involves teaching and research and things that are squarely academic. Today, as an executive, you're not only an educator, but you're also the CEO of a $300+ million organization. And the administrative responsibilities take you one step, two steps away from being an educator. And so the ability to manage all of the administrative aspects of the university while also keeping an eye towards the educational function of the university has been the most challenging. And the way that I've solved that is occasionally I've got to leave the administration building and I go just engage with students to hear about what their experience is like. And so when I talk to them, I typically ask them where they're from, how they discovered SIUE, what they're studying, and what they hope to do. And for anyone who's been in the presence of a young person, there's just light in their eyes that is inspiring. And so their ambition is so big that it's hard not to be inspired by them. And so when it's time to part ways, I often leave with this tremendous sense that the world's gonna be an okay place if we can hand the keys over to this cohort of young people. I hope that when my career is said and done, there may be three things that people will say. One is that he was a real champion for students. Two is that he always put students at the center of his work. And three, he worked as hard as he could to restructure, reform institutions so that they better and more effectively serve the students who show up.